Good evening.
Welcome to Tuesdays with Thriving. I'm Randy and this is Shannon, and together we are the Thriving Relationship. Tonight, we're going to talk about
Assumptions. Assumption. Why? Why are we talking about this?
Why? Well, I assume it's because it's a problem. I assume we see it in our couples practices all the time.
And do it ourselves. Assuming is something I think we all like to do because it gives us a little sense of control.
Yeah.
If I know what you're going to do and why you're doing it,
Yeah.
I feel a little bit better about how things are going.
Yeah, right? Sometimes we have assumptions and then we're able to maybe prevent problems from happening or, all kinds of things reaffirm to us that assuming is good, right? Like I saved the day or I didn't burn the house down and whatever it is. I mean, there's reasons that we assume and we keep doing it.
Right. Over and over. So you just looked up a definition.
Yeah.
And what was the
definition was, here, let me find it. Assumption, a thing that is accepted as true or as certain to happen without proof.
the trouble we get in with this.
Yeah.
So why we chose the topic is I see this over and over in sessions. And of course, I'm sure this has happened in my marriage. I'm sure it's happened in yours, which is I see a facial expression and I'm going to assume that it means that Brad's mad.
Yes.
Or I receive a text and I'm going to give it all sorts of meaning. I'm going to, those were shouty caps, so he must be angry. Or, the word fine, he must be putting me off, or he doesn't want to talk to me. Or maybe
okay.
Or maybe there's a big delay in when he texts me back. Then I can really fill in the gaps with all sorts of assumptions of where is he? What is he doing? Why isn't he texting me back? And I hear this over and over and over. So I'm assuming somebody's emotions.
Yep.
I'm assuming what they're thinking.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that
I know what they're going to do.
Yes.
I assume I know their actions.
Yes. So how do we break out of assuming?
Yeah. Well, so one of the best things we can do is we can actively listen. What? Did you hear what I said?
You mean listen to actually hear what somebody says?
Yeah.
Instead of just listening to what we think they're going to say or rebuttal. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to actually listen to what gets said. And not what you think it said, right? And so part of this is because one of the most important things I think I know when I work with couples that we have to do is somebody talks about something and the other person is listening. And then before we get to move anywhere, I have the person that was listening repeat back what they heard from whoever was talking. And then that person gets to say, yeah, that's what I said, or no, that's not what I was trying to say, right? Sometimes we're trying to say something, we don't say it well. Sometimes we say something, but someone else has kind of got triggers or things like that happening, and so they're unable to hear really what's being said. So
when you hit that, and the listening, sometimes it'll be funny because, of course, people will say, well, I'm listening, I didn't say anything, but you can see it's written all over their face. Like they're not really listening, the body language, like they're turning away. And so internally what you have to do is you actually have to take a deep breath and actually be curious about what your person is saying.
Yes.
So if I'm making an assumption, maybe you walk in the door and you assume that your husband has some sort of an emotion. He seems cranky. Instead of going and saying,
wow, you're cranky.
I may go something like, are you doing okay? Is everything okay? And then I have to actually listen instead of just jumping in and telling them, I bet you're angry over that thing that happened.
Yeah, right. My fleeting thought. Where did it go? Dang it. It'll come back. It'll come back in just a second.
It's gone.
I had it.
So be curious, ask questions, fact check instead of just...
There we go, facts.
Okay, go with facts.
Check the facts. So paying attention to really what you actually know in the situation. None of us know what someone else is thinking. I mean, we just can't.
Or feeling.
Yep. Or unless they're telling us, hey, I feel angry. Hey, I feel scared. Hey, I feel irritable. I feel lonely. Like, we don't know what they're thinking or feeling unless they're actually saying it to us. So really sticking with what are the facts that we know about the situation. So I might know, okay, I picked up on that, like, something feels off with Brandon. He came home, our usual interaction didn't happen. You know, maybe he didn't come in and give me a kiss, or it was a very short kiss, or, you know, like, yep, I can see that.
Right.
But I'm not going to label it as something's wrong or something's good or something's bad.
Or I must have done something.
Or, yep, I must have done something, or he's mad at me. I just know, oh, okay, like, my gut gave me a response. And so I can go on with, now, let's find more facts. Hey, how are you?
Go on a mission.
Yeah. How was the drive home today? Right? Like, how was work today? You know, and start to ask those questions to kind of find more. But sticking with the facts is really important in kind of avoiding how assumptions can really wreak havoc in our relationships.
So then the other point we wanted to make tonight is that if you're trying to make change in your relationship, and I hope most people are, like being able to identify, hey, we need to do this better, maybe we need to communicate more, or we need to have a better division of labor in the house. If I assume that my person isn't going to do it, they're not going to do it.
Right.
So a lot of times in session, we'll have this conversation, and maybe the wife will say, like, well, I'd really like to have more help around the house. And he'll say, well, I could start doing the dishes. And she goes, well, you never have.
You say you're going to all the time, and you never do.
It's like having a balloon and you just pop it.
Yes.
And so don't assume that people can't make change. I mean, we're in the business to believe that people can make change.
Yeah, so we were having actually quite a dialogue, you know, in the last couple of days as we decided assumption. Yeah, right? And, you know, I posed the question to her, why do we always assume bad? Why don't we make assumptions of, like, yeah, he said he's going to help with the dishes. He'll help with the dishes. He'll probably even do more than that, right? Like, why don't we assume for the better?
Right. Why do we read the text that says okay, and we assume,
okay,
well, there must be a lot of negative emotion behind that, instead of, oh, they must be busy.
Yeah, so a challenge for yourself. While you try to break the habit of assumption and you catch yourself with the, like, negative assumption happening, can you flip it? Can you flip it and like try to assume the best?
Yeah, it's work with your inner critic, essentially, so that we're all telling, and we talked about it before, but we tend to fill in blanks with negative storylines.
Yeah.
So you give us room, we're not filling it up with rainbows and butterflies. We tend to be filling it up with, well, he doesn't really want to help me out, or he must be angry, or all of those negative things, because typically we're not doing a lot of positive self-talk. And so we're doing it to ourselves, and we're doing it in our relationship. And the only way to switch that is to actively turn it around. Really work on the opposite thought patterns, the positive ones. I mean, if you're already positive, don't flip those around. That wouldn't work.
Right. So I'm just noticing tonight, in most of our examples, we kind of were identifying all the assumptions landing on the woman. However, we'll just recognize, I haven't found that it's just one gender.
No, I don't think
it's not just one gender that seems
specific.
to be, we all make those assumptions. She'll be mad if I walk in and I don't take my shoes off her. It doesn't matter. I got the wrong kind of milk on the way home. She'll be mad, or, whatever it might be. We all kind of fall for it. But yeah, that, when we take it back to what's within my control, right? Like, that's a huge piece of all of the couples work that we do is, when you're helping couples kind of get things figured out, you're actually helping individuals get things figured out. And then the couple piece kind of starts to flourish when kind of our own individual baggage starts to clear out of the way. So, as Shannon mentioned, just when you pay attention to that inner critic in your head, how often do you make negative assumptions about yourself? Oh, I won't ever get that job, or I couldn't get that raise, or, oh, my kids won't like it if I make this dinner, right? I mean, just there's these assumptions, or I couldn't make that recipe. Pay attention to just that inner critic that we have and challenge that inner critic.
Mm-hmm. And what story? Just look at your stories. Mm-hmm. Pay attention to them, because we're telling ourselves a story all the time about everything, any interaction. I'm sure we're telling stories about what we're seeing tonight as we're on live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any questions out there?
So, we have just kind of, I'm going to fill in the blanks a little bit. I think that was kind of the gist of what we wanted to share on assumption. Today, for those of you that are part of our Thriving Community email list, we shipped out our very first Thriving Relationship newsletter. So if you have subscribed or you participated with us in the past, and we do have your email address, we sent those. If you're interested in finding it, if it's not right in your inbox, I highly recommend you go look in your junk or your spam, because that's just, our emails are made to kind of sift through things, and sometimes they'll sift through it without our knowledge. So look for it and see what you think about it. If you like it, I would advise you go and tell your email that that's a safe sender, right? Mm-hmm. So that you can find them ongoing when they come.
And if you don't get the emails, go ahead and email us at the website, and we'll make sure that we add you to the list.
Yeah.
So they're just once a week. We're not flooding anyone's inboxes, and we want to make sure that you are up on the events, what's going on, and we'll probably be putting in a relationship tip of the week or something to inspire you to work on connection at home.
Yeah. Yeah, and then for some of you that may have seen, we spent the weekend 12 hours. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was just the first day. We really went through, and we have revamped our website. And so we're in the process of shifting. You can look up the Shannon K. Johnson, KAYJohnson.com, and you can find us there. Mm-hmm. Or you can look up, we've taken over the domain, The Thriving Relationship. And so either we'll take you to our information and go check it out. We'd love your feedback. If you find any errors, please let us know. We've had to, bless Carrie's heart, the three of us have just been like, okay, look it on your phone. Now you look it on your phone and see if things are going okay. So go check it out, see what you like. We really want to make sure it's user friendly. So, it's hard for us to sometimes realize when something's not clear because we've created it.
Right. We would love
it's hard to not know what you may not know.
Any feedback, if it's not loading well, if something feels cumbersome, let us know. We've got our retreat is set as of today. Everything is booked. So February 15th and 16th here in Idaho Falls at, the
Marriott Residence Inn, right on the river.
It's a very beautiful hotel. We're excited to have you join us.
Yes. Yeah, and we are talking with them that we want to do it local so that it can be more affordable, so you don't maybe have to have a hotel room. Mm-hmm. It's also a beautiful location if you'd like to make an overnight out of it.
Happens to be on Valentine's weekend.
Yeah, it would be a great, a great little getaway. So,
and this is for all types of couples. If you are having an amazing time and you just want to carve out a weekend and learn some new skills, join us. If you want to, rejuvenate your relationship, we'll be here. If you need to heal something, we will be giving you skills to help with that. So, and we're very, we believe that your information gets to stay private.
Yeah.
You will only share what you want to share, and all exercises are done with your person. We're not going to mix you up. So no worries.
Yeah, you're not talking with someone else's partner.
No.
There's no,
it's not like dance class.
Presentation or like role playing with someone else's partner or anything like that. It's though we come together as a group, it is intended to be a very intimate experience for each couple of partners, each pair of partners there.
And we picked the spot based on ability to spread out.
Yes.
So we are excited. We hope, please just send any questions on that. It's on an event page on Facebook. You can also find it on the website.
Yeah.
What else?
All right.
Anything else?
I think that's kind of what we know for now.
I think so.
It's been a big weekend. Imagine what will come out next weekend.
You just never know. Email list, website, up next. We probably should have an app.
Ooh, yeah. All right. We'll get right on that. Get right on that, Rose. Yeah. All right, world. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us tonight while we just try to cover topics that we find will probably help couples in making more positive connections with each other. So here's to not assuming. All right. Good night.
Good night.